All right, so stop me if this sounds familiar. You're posting content daily. You're engaging with everyone. You're trying every damn single growth hack that you can find, and your newsletter is growing at a snail's pace, at a glacier pace. Meanwhile, there are other entrepreneurs and parents out there adding 3,000 customers per month using a system so simple that it feels like cheating. No viral content required, no massive ad spend, just a proven formula that turns strangers into subscribers faster than you can say school pickup. And the best part, you can set it up this weekend while the kids are watching cartoons. This, my friends, is the R in the CAR system, and it stands for reach, and we're going to be breaking this down right now.
The Dark Horse Entrepreneur Podcast.
What is up? What is up? What the hell is up, my Dark Horse friends and family? Welcome back to the Dark Horse Entrepreneur, where busy parents turn limited time into unlimited potential. I am your humble host, Tracy Brinkman, and if you've been following the CAR framework series, you're about to complete something powerful, a newsletter system that can actually make money. Now, let me catch you up real quick. Back in episode 516, we built your newsletter foundation with the CREATE framework. We identified your target audience using the parent pain point method, and we clarified your authentic voice using the 3 parent entrepreneur archetypes, and crafted your content framework with the Monday Morning Magic template. And if you want to get all those details, go over and check out episode 516. Link will be down in the show notes here. Then in episode 517, we established your authority engine. That's the A. That's the 4-part welcome sequence that turns strangers into raving fans. Then a 12-month seasonal parent content calendar and the monetization ladder that transforms your expertise into real income. But here is the thing, ladies and gentlemen, you can have the most amazing newsletter in the world, but if no one knows it exists, then you're just kind of talking to yourself, like some of the podcasters out there, right? And that's exactly what we're going to work on fixing today. We're installing the Reach system. This is going to be your subscriber growth engine. This is where we stop hoping people will find you and we start systematically attracting the right people into your newsletter. We're talking about predictable, scalable growth that doesn't require you to go viral or spend your kids' college fund on Facebook ads or any other ad spend. Because the difference between a hobby newsletter and a business-changing newsletter, it's not just quality, it's reach. Today, you're getting the system that makes 100 plus daily subscribers not just possible, it makes it inevitable. In the next 20 minutes, we're building your growth engine, creating an irresistible lead magnet that people actually want to complete, implementing smart list strategies that turn cold contacts into warm conversations, and setting up engagement filters that keep your metrics clean and keep your income growing. All right? But here's what we're going to be covering first. First, I'm going to show you the 3-question survey strategy that's so simple, it really feels like cheating. Because, my friends, people love to share their opinions. And if you don't believe me on this, just go check your Facebook feed, your Instagram feed, any of your feeds. Twitter, right? Whatever it might be. Yeah, see? They love sharing their opinions. And we're going to use a little psychology to build your email list while gathering a goldmine of data about your audience. We're going to dive into the cold to warm email sequence. This is 3 simple emails that transform purchase lists into engaged subscribers without feeling spammy or without feeling pushy, because I find this right here is where most people stumble, bumble, fall, faceplant, just completely mess it all up. But I'm going to give you the exact framework that actually will work for you. I'm using it right now, okay? And then finally, we're going to be setting up your engagement filter system. This is the smart way to move responders to your main list while cleaning out all that dead weight, all the stuff that's going to drive your stats down. Because here's the truth, ladies and gentlemen, a smaller engaged list will always outperform a massive unengaged one. And by the end of this episode, you'll have a complete subscriber acquisition machine that runs on autopilot. We're talking about attracting your ideal readers, building genuine relationships, and scaling your newsletter without burning you out or breaking the bank. This, my friends, is the final piece of the CAR framework puzzle. You've got the foundation. You've got the authority from the previous 2 episodes. Now, we're going to give you the reach. Yeah. So grab a cup of coffee, whatever your favorite beverage is, one more time, and let's turn your newsletter into a subscriber magnet that it was meant to be. So first, let's dive into the secret weapon that's going to transform your subscriber growth. And that is the 3-question survey. And I'm going to let you in a little psychological truth here that most marketers, they tend to miss. And I've been in this game since, the 90s. Yeah, I just dated myself, but the beard kind of does that for you. Like I mentioned earlier, people love sharing their opinions. And they love sharing their opinions more than they love free stuff. Think about it. When was the last time you downloaded a lead magnet and actually used it? Go ahead, I'll wait. Right? Probably never. Your downloads folder is probably a graveyard of PDFs, maybe even videos you're probably never going to open. That one you just thought about right now? Yeah, that one. And the 10 before that? You know what I'm talking about. But when someone asks for your opinion, your ears perk up, you sit up straight, and you are all in. Yeah, you want to be heard. You want to contribute. You want to feel like your opinion and your experience matters. And that right there is exactly what we're going to be tapping into with this strategy. Here's how it works. Instead of offered another generic freebie that really, let's be honest, tends to get ignored, you're going to be asking 3 strategic questions that make people feel important while giving you a goldmine of data about your core audience. Let me give you the perfect example. Instead of download my free parent productivity guide, you could create a survey that says, what's your biggest parent entrepreneur challenge? Then you're going to ask 3 simple questions. Let me give them to you. Question number 1, what's the biggest challenge you're facing as a parent trying to build a business? This is going to give you their primary pain point. And that right there is pure gold. And you may already know these answers, but that's fine. You want to hear what their opinion is. Question number 2, what have you tried to solve this problem? This is going to show you what's not working in the market. This, my friend, is competitive intelligence, and you're going to get it free. And question number 3, if you could wave a magic wand and fix it overnight, what would your ideal solution look like? That, my friend, is your product development roadmap, and they're going to hand it to you on a silver platter or a green screen, whatever you happen to be using. Okay. But here's where it really gets brilliant. Every single response that you get becomes content for your newsletter. Someone says they're struggling with time management. Well, that's what your next newsletter is going to be about. Someone mentions that they can't figure out social media. Boom. That's your next month's theme. You're not just building an email list here. You're building a content calendar based on exactly what your audience wants to hear about. And guess what? They just told you what they want to hear about. It's like having a focus group that pays you instead of the other way around. Now, here's where AI becomes your survey building superpower. You can use ChatGPT or whatever AI you prefer to use to generate survey questions with prompts like, create 3 survey questions for, and you're going to insert your niche in there. For me, it's busy parent entrepreneurs starting online businesses. Or you could try something like, what questions should I ask to understand my audience's biggest challenges? Then give the AI your audience and your niche and let it go to work. And for actually building the survey, you could use something like Typeform. Typeform AI is incredible. It creates beautiful mobile-friendly surveys that feel like conversations, not like interrogations. People will actually enjoy filling them out, or the ease of which will make them more enjoyable to fill out. How about that? Okay? So here's your 10-minute setup process. I'm trying to make this available for you busy entrepreneurs out there, you busy parents. First, spend 3 minutes using ChatGPT or whatever AI you like to use to generate your 3 questions. Make sure they're specific to your audience and designed to give you actionable insights. Next, spend 5 minutes in Typeform creating your survey. Keep it simple, keep it visual, and keep it engaging. Okay? Only 3 questions. Shouldn't take them long. And finally, spend those last 2 minutes setting up a thank you page. This one here is crucial because after they complete the survey, you want them to land on that page that says something like, thank you for sharing your insights. I read every single one of your responses personally, and I use them to create content that actually helps. Want to be the first to see the solutions I develop? Join my newsletter below. Bam! There you have it. You see what we did there? We didn't bait and switch them. We explained exactly why their input matters, and then gave them a logical solution, gave them a logical reason to join the newsletter. It feels natural. It doesn't feel salesy or manipulative. The beauty of this system is that it's scalable, right? So many hacks that we hear out there. Yeah, I could do this, but once I reach a certain point, good God, I got to pay 18 people to keep growing it. No, this is scalable at any level. Beginner, medium, expert, whatever it is. And trust me, some of the experts are using this very model. You can share this survey elsewhere, Facebook, social media, LinkedIn, wherever you're at. And you could even share it in casual conversations. Wow, I need that kind of input. Could you check out this survey here for me? Right? Hey, I'm doing some research on parent entrepreneurs in my case. Would you mind answering these 3 quick questions? Boom. And here's the kicker. The people who complete your series are your most engaged prospects. They have already invested some time into helping you, which means they're psychologically committed to seeing what it is you do with their input. These aren't just subscribers, ladies and gentlemen. These are your future customers.
The Dark Horse Entrepreneur Podcast.
Within 30 days of strategy, you should have hundreds of survey responses dozens of content ideas, and a growing list of engaged subscribers who are genuinely interested in what it is you have to say because they literally told you what they want to hear about. Okay, so now we're going to be getting into the part of the strategy that makes most people feel a little uncomfortable, but it's okay. It's also the one that gets the fastest results. We're talking about reaching out to people who you don't know yet, but we are going to be doing it in a way that feels helpful, not salesy, and not spammy. First, let me address the elephant that's in the room. Yes, I'm talking about cold outreach. I can hear some of you in my magic headphones. I could never do that. Let me reframe this for you. You're not selling anything. You're not even pitching anything. You are just simply asking the folks in your niche, in my case, fellow parents, for their opinion on something they already care about. And here's how you can source some of these lists legally and ethically. Very important. You can purchase targeted email lists from reputable providers. And I'm talking about lists of people who have opted in to receive business-focused communications. And then there's also things like LinkedIn Sales Navigator exports, right? Industry-specific databases, and even attendee lists from virtual conferences. And in my case, I'd go to virtual parenting conferences and say, hey, can I get a copy of your list? And they say, yes, cost you $200, bing, bang, boom, there you go. The key here is targeting. You don't want random emails from Joe Schmo and Jane Schmo anywhere. You want emails of people who match your ideal subscriber profile. For me, parents who've shown interest in entrepreneurship or side hustles or online businesses or MMO are the ones I want to look at. Yours may be different. People who are already in your world, they just don't know that you particularly exist yet. So here's where most people are going to mess this one up completely. Stumble, fall, faceplant, okay? They're going to send one generic email that screams mass marketing. Instead, we are going to do something a little different. We're going to do what I call the cold to warm 3 email sequence that sounds more like a personal conversation. Email number 1, this is your quick question for your core customer, okay? For me, it's a quick question for a fellow parent. This email that you're going to be sending is all about connection and curiosity. You're not asking for anything but their opinion. You could say something like, hi, first name, right? Hi, Sarah. I noticed you're a working mom that's interested in side hustles. I'm doing a little research on the biggest challenges parent entrepreneurs are facing. I'd love to get your perspective. What's the one thing that keeps you up at night when it comes to balancing family and building a business? Just hit reply. I read every single response personally. Now, do you notice what's in there? We acknowledged who they are. We explained why we're reaching out, and we asked them for something valuable, their opinion, their insights, and their expertise. People love being asked for their opinion. So that moves us on to email number 2. This is the I've created something you might find helpful email. This email, you're going to send 3 or 4 days later, references their response or lack thereof, and introduces the survey. Hey, Sarah, I've been getting amazing responses to my question about parent entrepreneur challenges. Their insights, they've been amazing, incredible, you might say. Based on what I'm hearing, I put together a quick 3-question survey to dig a little deeper. Would you mind taking a few seconds to share your thoughts? Here's the link. You give them the link. I'm planning to create some resources based on the results, and I really would love your input. That's it. You see the progression? We went from asking for their opinion to giving them a structured way to share it. That feels like a natural step. Some folks aren't comfortable with hitting reply and, typing things in. But when you give them a structured way to answer some questions, bing, bang, boom, you're on your way. And that moves us to email number 3. This is the last chance to share your thoughts email. This final email, you want to send this one about a week later. Okay. It creates a gentle urgency while maintaining a still helpful tone. Here we go. Hey, Sarah, I'm wrapping up my research on parent entrepreneur challenges. Again, insert your niche here this week. I'd hate for you to miss the chance to contribute your valuable insight. If you have a couple of minutes or a few seconds, however you want to phrase it, I'd still love to get your perspective. Insert the link. No worries if you're too busy. I know how crazy parent life can be. Either way, I'll be sharing what I have learned with everyone who's participated. The beauty of this sequence, I think, is it doesn't feel pushy. Each email provides value and then gives them an easy way out. I mean, you're building a relationship here. You're not just trying to make a sale. Now, before you send even a single email, what do you need to do? Well, you need to clean and validate your list. This is crucial for deliverability as well as your reputation. Tools like Hunter.io can verify email addresses and remove all the invalid ones. Zero Bounce is another great option. You'll want to make sure that you're only emailing real active addresses. And this also helps show how reputable the provider of those email addresses are for you. Okay. So here's where AI again becomes your outreach assistant. You can use AI, ChatGPT, or whatever it is you use to help craft these email sequences with prompts like write a friendly cold email asking your niche audience, in my case, asking busy parents about their biggest business challenges. Or how about this one? Create a follow-up email sequence that introduces a survey without being pushy, right? You can get a lot more detailed than that, but those are a couple of quick samples for you. The key is feeding AI, ChatGPT, context about your audience and your authentic voice. You don't want it to write some generic corporate speak sounding email unless that's how you talk. You want it to sound like you. So here's your 15-minute routine that can transform your subscriber growth to 0 to hero. Every morning, send out 50 personalized emails using your sequence. That's about 15 minutes if you're using templates and personalizing the first line manually. Track your response with a simple spreadsheet: who opened, who replied, who completed the survey, who didn't do anything, yada, yada, yada. And here's what you can expect. Out of 50 emails, you might get 10 to 15 responses to your first email. Of those, maybe 5 or 8 will actually complete the survey. And of those survey completers, about 3 to 5 are going to join your newsletter. That's 3 to 5 highly engaged subscribers per day for 15 minutes of morning work. Bam! Right? Do that for 30 days and you've had 90 to 150 engaged subscribers who are genuinely interested in what it is you have to say. They aren't random people. They are actually people that took the time to share their challenges with you. The key to making this work is consistency combined with authenticity. You've heard people say you have to be consistent. That's cool and that's right. I'm with them. But if you're out there consistently being an asshole, it's not going to work. You have to be consistent with your authenticity. Don't try to sound like a corporate marketing department if you're not one. Sound like, in my case, a fellow parent who genuinely wants to help, because that is exactly who I am. You need to sound like exactly who you are. And remember, every single person who responds to your outreach, whether they join your newsletter or not, have given you some valuable market research. So you're not just building your list, you're building your understanding of your market and your audience's real needs. And that brings us to the part that separates the amateurs from the pros. And yes, you can be a pro on day 2. Hear me now, right? Okay. And this is called your engagement filter system. This is where you're going to stop treating all of your subscribers equally, and you're going to start focusing on the people who are actually wanting to hear from you. Because here's a harsh truth. Lean in. I don't care what you're doing right now. Just pause. If you're driving, keep your focus on the road. Just kind of lean in and listen to me a bit here. A smaller, engaged list will always outperform a massively unengaged one. Yeah. All right. Let me say that a little louder for the people in the back. A smaller, engaged list will always outperform a massively unengaged list. And think of this as quality control for your newsletter empire, whether you have one newsletter or more than one. You're not just collecting email addresses like Pokemon cards. No, not going to do it. You're building a community of people who genuinely care about what it is you have to say, and you care about what it is you're saying to them. Let's start with the good news. And that good news is moving your survey responders to your main email list. Those people are gold. They've already shown engagement by completing your survey, which means they're psychologically invested in your content. When someone takes the time to answer your questions, they want to see what it is you're going to do with their input. And here's how it works. Anyone who completes your 3-question survey gets automatically tagged as a survey responder and moved into your main newsletter list. But here's the key. Their first newsletter should reference their survey participation, right? It could be something like, welcome to the newsletter. I've been reading through all the survey responses and wow, the insights you all shared are incredible. This week, I'm diving into the number 1 challenge that came up and list what that number 1 challenge is. You see what I did there? You made them feel heard and important. Okay? You're not just adding another subscriber. They have, in effect, become a contributor to your content. Now, here's where most people are going to get squeamish about this, but it's absolutely crucial for your success. You need to delete the non-engagers after 3 emails. What? You must be crazy, Tracy. I paid for those people.
The Dark Horse Entrepreneur Podcast.
Or I worked hard to get them. I know. It feels wrong to delete subscribers. But here's what you need to understand. Unengaged, non-engaged subscribers are actually hurting your business. Here's what I mean by that. Email providers like Gmail and Outlook, they track engagement rates. And if people consistently do not open your emails, those providers start sending your future emails into the promotions folder, or worse yet, the spams folder, okay? It's called sender reputation, ladies and gentlemen, and it's everything when it comes to email marketing. So here is your rule. If someone doesn't open any of your first 3 emails, they get moved to a re-engagement campaign. This will be your final attempt. Maybe send them 2 or 3 emails asking if they still want to hear from you. If they don't engage with those, they're out. Flush them down the toilet. Let's flush them down the toilet. Delete them. Protect your deliverability. Why do you want them there anyway? Right? They're just snoozing while you're up on stage giving your best content. You're out, okay? And I know it sounds harsh, but would you rather have 10,000 subscribers with a 5% open rate or 1,000 subscribers with a 45% open rate? Yeah, 45. I think mine's at 47 right now. The smaller list will make you more money every single time if they're engaged. Next, you need to track performance by source. This is where the magic really happens. Understanding which of your channels are bringing you the highest quality subscribers. Create yourself a simple little spreadsheet, or you could use your email platform's tagging system to track where each one of your subscribers came from. Maybe you're getting subscribers from LinkedIn outreach or Facebook groups or Twitter engagement or referrals from friends. Track the open rates, the click rates, and the conversion rates of each one of those sources. You might even discover that LinkedIn subscribers have a 60% open rate, while those Facebook group subscribers, they're only coming in at a 20% open rate. Once you have the data, you can double down, triple down, quadruple down on your highest performing channels. If LinkedIn is the one that's crushing it, you should be spending more time there. If Facebook groups aren't working for you, stop wasting time on those Facebook groups. Again, if they're not working, this is how you're going to optimize your growth strategy based on real data, not guesswork. You say, well, everyone's talking on Facebook. Yeah, but they're not talking to you. Maybe. I don't know. Okay. Here's where AI is going to help you with your tracking and automation. It's going to become your powerhouse here. You're going to use AI, ChatGPT, or whatever else to create tracking prompts like, help me create a system to track subscriber sources and engagement rates. Or you could do something simple like, what metrics should I monitor to optimize my newsletter growth? There it is. And read the answer. And you have questions about it, ask the question back, okay? For automation, Zapier AI is pretty incredible. You can set up automated workflows that tag subscribers based on their source, move engaged users to different lists, and even trigger that re-engagement campaign automatically. What used to require a virtual assistant can now be handled by smart automation. And there's a number of other ways. I can't do them all here in 20 minutes, okay? Let me introduce you to your real secret weapon. I'm going to call this the weekly review. This is a 10-minute weekly ritual that will transform your newsletter growth. Every Friday, spend 10 minutes reviewing your metrics, the ones you just got from ChatGPT. Minute 1 through 3, you're going to check your overall growth numbers. How many new subscribers did you get this week? And what's your current open rate? Okay, minute 4 through 6, review the performance by source. Which channels are bringing in the highest quality subscribers and which ones are underperforming? Keep testing different things, especially when you do things like Facebook groups. One group may be a dog. You may end up landing later on at just this powerhouse group that's just killing it for you. Okay, minutes 7 through 9, you're going to identify the top performing content. Which newsletters did you publish that got the highest engagement? What topics in those newsletters resonated most? I would make sure that each newsletter focuses on one topic. That way you're not guessing which of the 3 topics in this newsletter were the people really clicking about, okay? And in minute 10, plan next week's optimization. Maybe you're doubling down on that LinkedIn outreach, or maybe you're testing a new survey question, or maybe you're reaching out to another high-performing referral source. This weekly review, you're constantly optimizing based on the real data that you see every week. It's not based on a hunch. It's not a guess. It's not because somebody said, oh, wow, I'm getting all this. And you're like, oh, so am I. No, you're going to look at the data. Okay. Here's what the system looks like in action. Week 1, you're going to send those 50 cold emails and you're probably going to get those 5 survey completions. Week 2, you're going to refine your email copy based on responses. And maybe you get 8 completions. Maybe you get 3. If you get less completions, you're going to go back to the first version until you start seeing better completions. Week 3, you identify perhaps maybe that LinkedIn outreach performs better than Facebook. So you're going to shift your focus over to LinkedIn. In week 4, now you're getting 12 completions from the same 50 emails because you optimize everything. The result, well, that's what we're here for. Predictable, scalable growth that gets better every single week. You're not just hoping for subscribers. You are out there systematically attracting the right people and filtering out the wrong ones. You're just kicking them right on out the door. Remember, this isn't about getting the most subscribers. This is about getting the right subscribers. People who will actually open your emails, engage with your content, and eventually become your customer. Quality in this game always beats quantity every single time. All right, so that brings us to my favorite time of the podcast, the Whiskered Wisdom section. This is where we're going to give you that golden nugget that hopefully ties everything together and gives you the mindset shift sometimes that changes everything. So here's your growth hack wisdom. The best marketing doesn't feel like marketing. Yeah, let that sink in for a second. When you lead with curiosity instead of sales pitches, people actually want to engage with you. Use AI to scale your outreach, but at the same time, you have to keep your approach human. It's got to come from the heart. All right. Think about the last time someone tried to sell you something versus the last time someone genuinely asked for your opinion. Which one actually made you feel valued? Which one actually made you feel like you wanted to respond? Right? Exactly. That's what we're talking about here. That's the secret sauce behind everything we just covered. Your 3-question survey, it doesn't feel like a lead magnet. It feels like someone who cares about your experience, your opinion, your thoughts, and your insights. Your cold email sequence, yeah, it doesn't feel like spam. It feels like a fellow, in my case, parent reaching out for advice, right? Your engagement filter, it doesn't feel like rejection. It's just curation. Here's what entrepreneurs tend to get backwards. They think they need to convince people to join their list. No, big red X. But the most successful newsletter creators, yeah, they make people feel lucky to be included on that newsletter. Yeah, see, when you approach growth from a place of genuine curiosity, I really want to understand your challenges so I can help. Instead of desperation, please subscribe to my newsletter, please, please, please. You've seen those. Everything changes. People can sense the difference almost instantaneously, if not consciously, subconsciously. Now, AI in here, it gives you the superpower to have these human conversations at scale. It helps you craft emails that sound personal. You can give it the data that makes it in your voice, create surveys that feel engaging, and track the data that helps keep you focused on what matters. But AI should not and cannot replace your genuine desire to serve. So remember, let AI handle the heavy lifting. Absolutely let AI handle the heavy lifting. But keep your heart at the center of your outreach. Because in a world full of automated and unatomic everything, authentic curiosity is going to be your competitive advantage. So that actually makes me beg a question, and I'm genuinely curious about something. After hearing this CAR system, C-A-R, over the past 3 episodes, create, authority, and reach, what's the biggest challenge you're facing in getting started with your newsletter? Is it finding your voice? Is it building a welcoming sequence? Or maybe it's the thought of actually reaching out to people you don't even know yet? Here's the thing. I've been exactly where you are, staring at that blank email template with the little cursor blinking at me, just taunting me, wondering if anyone would actually care about what I have to say. And that's why I created the Dark Horse Insider AI Escape newsletter. It's not just another marketing tool, but it's a real-time laboratory where I'm using to test every single strategy I teach as fast as I can. I can't do them all. You feel me? But as fast as I can test them, I'm sharing those results. And as fast as I get ideas, I'm sharing those ideas as well. Every week, a couple of times a week. Right now, it's Monday and Thursday. I'm going to share behind-the-scenes strategies, the AI tools that are actually working, the real results from myself and parent entrepreneurs who are building their AI escape plan. You're going to see the wins. You're going to see the failures, because sometimes we learn more from the failure than we learn from the win. You're going to see the pivots and the breakthroughs. It's like having a front row seat to watch these systems work in the wild. But here's what I think really makes this different. I'm not trying to convince you to join. I'm not, really. I'm just inviting you to be a part of a community of parents who refuse to choose between family time and financial freedom. People who lead with curiosity, build with authenticity, and grow with intention. If that sounds like your kind of people, I'd love to have you. Head on down to the link down in the show notes and join the myriad of parent entrepreneurs who are turning their side hustles into their main hustles, one strategic email at a time. Because, as I mentioned before, the best marketing doesn't feel like marketing. It feels like finding your tribe. But before you go, take a moment, if you would, and appreciate what you've already accomplished, no matter how small. You didn't just listen to 3 podcast episodes. I'm assuming you listened to all 3 of them. You've literally been handed a complete blueprint that parent entrepreneurs are using right this very minute to build 6-figure newsletter businesses. Some of them are even bigger, right? I've seen the data. You now have the complete CAR system, C-A-R. Create gave you your foundation, your audience, your voice, your content framework. Authority gave you your trust machine, that welcome sequence, the content calendar, and the monetization strategy. And reach, that gave you your growth engine, the survey system, the outreach sequence, and the engagement filters. There's only one thing left to do, to put that into drive, to put your car into drive. And here's what I need you to understand. Every newsletter empire started with someone just like you, sitting exactly where you are right now, even if you're driving. Maybe you're on the subway. Maybe you're at work listening to me. Maybe you're at the gym. But sitting where you are right now, wondering if they could really make this work. And you can. The difference between those who made it and those who did not, it wasn't talent. It wasn't luck. And it certainly wasn't perfect timing. It was, listen to me, taking the first step. Your newsletter empire starts with the first email that you send. Not the perfect email, not the polished email, not the email you'll send someday when you're ready. The first email. The one that you send, maybe right after you finish listening to this podcast, but certainly the one you send this week. Maybe it's your survey going out to a measly 10 people. Maybe it's your welcome sequence to your very first subscriber. Maybe it's just that cold outreach email to a fellow person in your niche, in my case, to a fellow parent. Whatever it is, send it. I had one of my one-on-one calls with a gentleman named Oscar. He's the host of the Daughtered podcast. He started his newsletter after listening to me and some of the advice I gave him here on this show. Thank you, Oscar, for listening. And he said, I only have 10 people on my newsletter. And I was like, dude, you're saying it wrong. You have 10 people on your newsletter. You got 10 people who are engaged with you. You see, because on the other side of that send button, ladies and gentlemen, is everything you've ever been dreaming of. The financial freedom, the time flexibility, and the ability to show your kids what's possible when you refuse to settle, when you're ready to even try failing, right? Remember, you're not just building a newsletter, you're building your family's future. Now go make it happen. Until next time, think successfully and take action.
Hey, my Dark Horse entrepreneurs, thanks for investing your precious time with us today. I know that between soccer practice and bedtime stories, every single minute counts. And that's exactly why I created the Dark Horse Insider, your weekly dose of digital marketing strategies, all designed specifically for my busy entrepreneurs, especially my busy parent entrepreneurs. If you're ready to turn those small pockets of time into profitable momentum, head on over to darkhorseinsider.com. darkhorseinsider.com and join our free newsletter, because we Dark Horses do not just run the race, we change how the race is won. Until next time, think successfully and take action. darkhorseinsider.com